This is 5 on your side at 6. Focused on you.
First at 6, an official report from St. Louis shows a downward trend in crime. City leaders say violent crime has significantly decreased overall. Good evening, I'm Ann Allred.
And I'm Mike Bush. That report released yesterday is being met with praise, but also with skepticism. City leaders say there was a 21% drop in murder last year. Justina Cornell joins us live in St. Louis with what she's learned about the reduction from police and a crime stats expert. Justina.
Yeah, so I spoke to a doctorate student from UMSL earlier today, and he says these numbers are positive, but he also admits that this trend is happening nationwide.
That's the big question. People always want to know why.
While they don't know the why.
This report is more of a what and not as much of a why.
University of Missouri St. Louis doctoral candidate Bobby Boxman still has some answers.
I think anytime crime is that high, it's going to settle in some way.
In St. Louis City, police say overall crime dropped by double digits in 2023 from the previous year. There was a 21% reduction in murders, a 24% dip in shooting incidents, a 23% decline in shooting victims. And the department also reported sharp reductions in juvenile shooting incidents and victims as well.
Certainly, we think that we are doing a lot of things right as it relates to, where we're allocating our resources, the technologies that we're utilizing in our patrol efforts, as well as our follow-up investigations.
In a weekly news briefing, police said there are still unknowns.
Certainly fewer officers this year compared to other years, but as to the exact cause or correlation, as to there could be any number of reasons why crime statistics can be affected.
Through the Council on Criminal Justice, the goal is to collect data from 30 cities, including St. Louis. Boxerman saw similarities.
Compared to 2022, at least in the first 6 months of 2022, there's a pretty good reduction in basically all offenses. Homicide was about 10% decrease nationwide, at least in our sample. COVID kind of resulted in some higher crime, especially violent crime. So we seem to be settling towards more of a norm.
And while they can't answer the why, they hope we ask this next question. How can we continue this positive trend?
Really, we just try to tell people, hey, this is what's going on, really to keep that conversation going.
So far in the first few days of 2024, there are no reported homicides in the city of St. Louis. As far as what's next week, police are hosting a news briefing with Chief Robert Tracy to go over these numbers in his first year in office. Reporting live, Justina Cornell, 5 on your side.
Breaking news right now on the border of St. Louis City and County are taking a live look at eastbound 270 closed near Riverview. Just one lane getting by. St. Louis County Police say officers spotted an SUV wanted in connection with a homicide in that area. The officer attempted to stop the vehicle, but the driver took off. So all lanes are closed. They're rerouting people off of the exit. Police pursued the SUV on I-270 until it crashed into another car on the Chain of Rocks Bridge. 2 people were in that car, but they were not hurt. The suspect was not hurt and is now in custody. We'll keep an eye on it and let you know when it opens back up.
And we are following a developing story in eastern Illinois. State police say they're investigating an officer-involved shooting in St. Elmo. Police say Tyler Rowe stole a car from a home west of Effingham, leading to a police chase. They stopped him in St. Elmo, and that's when a Farina police officer opened fire. Right now, we do not know if Rowe was armed. No police officer was injured. Rowe is being treated at a hospital and is in custody.
New information tonight about a violent New Year's Day attack in North St. Louis. Today, 2 people have been charged for a fight that left 1 man in serious condition. This happened near North Jefferson and Delmar Monday night. Police say that's where they found a man brutally beaten. Police say the victim was drunk when he started a fight with Nathan Ken. Shortly after, Brandon Lee Leachman also started kicking and hitting the man with a glass bottle. They both face assault charges. Police say the victim is still in critical condition at the hospital.
Right now, a man is in custody after what many are calling a low-speed chase through South St. Louis. This afternoon, many people shared videos of a Kia with all flat tires driving through the area, surrounded by police cars and even helicopters overhead. Police say they were pursuing the stolen car when they deployed spike strips. The driver didn't stop, leading that slow pursuit. Police tell us the suspect was stopped near Chippewa and January Avenue.
A man charged in a deadly road rage incident learned his sentence today. Joseph Faupol and Daniel Leffler were both charged with involuntary manslaughter for the death of Patricia Kottner. A judge sentenced Faupol hours ago. 5 on your side's Robert Townsend was at today's hearing. He joins us live outside the St. Charles County Courthouse. Robert.
And 65-year-old Joseph Falpo pled guilty to the charges back in November. Now, his lawyer wanted him to get probation, but during a 30-minute hearing this afternoon, a judge sentenced Falpo to 5 years in prison for involuntary manslaughter. That will run simultaneously with a 4-year sentence for second-degree assault. Prosecutors say on March 29th, 2022, Falpo was trying to pass another vehicle on Highway 61 at Route W in St. Charles County. They say the driver of the other car, Daniel Leffler, sped up so Falpo could not pass. Prosecutors say the two men touched off a road rage incident that caused Falpo to hit Leffler's car, which pushed him into Patricia and Roy Codner's Honda. The couple's car left the highway, hit a telephone pole, and flipped several times. 69-year-old Patricia Codner was killed. Her husband, he suffered minor injuries.
I'm glad he was found guilty. I'm glad he's getting time and not just a probation, because that wouldn't have served the purpose for anything.
The defendant in this case, along with another gentleman, just acted recklessly in their driving ability. They had no reason to be driving like that. They could have at any time made a decision not to continue with this type of behavior, and they decided not to, and it resulted in the tragic death of this woman.
Falpo apologized to the Codner family and said he wishes he could take back that day. Leffler remains free on bond. He's back in court next month. Live in St. Charles County, Robert Townsend, 5 on your side.
The Missouri House and Senate kicked off the new year voicing concerns that election year grandstanding could derail their work. One of the big fights brewing could make it harder for voters to change the Constitution to legalize abortion. Political editor Mark Maxwell has more from Jefferson City.
Senate Republicans kicked off 2024 much the way they ended last year, still at each other's throats. A newly formed Freedom Caucus kicked off the first day of session with lengthy speeches slamming moderate leadership for squandering Republican supermajorities. Over in the House, Speaker Dean Plocher warned about the kind of blinding ambition that can seduce politicians into pandering during an election year. He said if the splintered Senate remains divided, Republicans might hurt their chances to beat back a Democratic-led push to legalize abortion. Republicans plan to make one last stand, one final push to make it harder to change the Constitution, right as pro-choice groups are already organizing behind that effort. I asked the Speaker if it's fair to change the rules in the middle of the game.
I would love to see initiative petition reform on the ballot in August that we pass out of the House or the Senate, whatever we can agree on. You know, I stand for life, and this is yet one more reason why we should have passed initiative petition reform years ago.
They call it initiative petition reform. I call it attack on democracy, but whatever. Has been a thing that they've been trying to do since I got here. And they can't seem to coalesce around any particular decision on what that looks like and get the job done. But we do know, looking at states like Ohio and other places that have tried to do this, voters simply don't want it.
Here's the other factor. Time very well may be running out already. You heard the Speaker there say that if Republicans wanted to make it harder to change the Constitution, they should have already done that last year. Some lawmakers and lawyers in this building feel very strongly that even if voters do agree to change the initiative petition process, a court may overrule and decide that it was too late to change the rules of the game once the campaign had already started. Reporting in Jefferson City, Mark Maxwell, 5 on your side.